We can make on the same level.
But here's the thing, I was actually like doing schoolwork.
I was doing stuff, and I had work
Schoolwork?
4 times.
Alright.
4 times. 45 minutes.
Okay, so we did the unit circle, we did SOHCAHTOA. Now we're going to talk about what do you do when the radius isn't 1. Because you can actually find all 6 trig functions at any length of radius on any size circle. Okay? So if theta, which is an angle in standard position, you know what standard position is?
Yeah. It's where it's like, starts here.
It starts like here.
Yeah.
Okay? Okay, so we're going to have some kind of angle, and we're going to have some kind of radius. Okay, with that point. Now, r stands for the radius, that's equal to the square root of x squared plus y squared. This is the distance formula from 0. So if you remember the distance formula, it's x minus, so x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared. But the other point is always going for the origin, so it's always from 0, 0. So your radius, instead of being x minus, or whatever, x minus the 0 squared plus y minus 0 squared, that just becomes x squared plus y squared. Okay, so sine. What is sine? What do you know sine to be? Okay, we know it's y, and we also knew it was opposite over hypotenuse, right? Okay, now on the unit circle, the reason why it's y is because the radius is 1. We don't know what the radius is, so this is y over r. Where before, r was just 1, so we didn't have to divide by it. So what would that make cosine? X over r. Okay? Tangent doesn't change. What's tangent then? Y over x. Okay, then the other 3 are just reciprocals. So the reciprocal of sine is cosecant. That's r over y. The reciprocal of cosine is secant. That's r over x. Reciprocal of tangent is cotangent. That's x over y. Okay, do you think r could be positive, negative, both? Positive. Okay, it can only be positive. R is the length of your radius. When you're talking about distance, r can't be negative. So if you want to write yourself a reminder, has to be positive. So even though you're doing the square root, the number that you get has to be positive in the end. Now these points may be on the unit circle, like you may see the point square root 2 over 2, square root 2 over 2, but for the majority of these are not going to be on the unit circle. Okay? So you have to find the 6 trig functions and you're given a point. So if I'm given a point, I know x and y. So the very first thing I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to figure out what r is. What's the length of my radius? So r is equal to the square root of 4 squared plus 3 squared. So r is equal to the square root of 16 plus 9. So r is equal to the square root of 25. So r equals 5. Okay, so once you know x, y, and r, all you're doing is just plugging them in. So sine is equal to y over r. So what would sine be? 3 over 5, because this is my y, this is my r, so sine is 3 over 5. Okay, cosine. Cosine is equal to x over r. So 4 over 5. Good. Does this make sense? Yeah, okay. What about tangent? Good. So tangent's y over x, so 3 over 4. Okay, and the other 3 are reciprocals. Remember which one their reciprocals of will be important. So like cosecant is the reciprocal of sine. So cosecant's 5/3. Secant is the reciprocal of cosine. So it's 5/4. And cotangent's reciprocal of tangent. So it's 4/3. Okay, what quadrant is number 1 in? What's the point 4-3? What quadrant is that in? 1. What quadrant is number 2 in? 3. Okay, so we know x and y. So the first thing we do is to find r. So r is equal to the square root of negative square root of 3 squared plus negative 1 squared. Okay, well first off, if you square negative, it becomes positive. And if you square a square root, those cancel. So this becomes 3 plus 1. So this would be square root of 4, which is 2. So r equals 2. Okay, so what would sine be? Negative 1/2, good. Cosine? Negative square root of 3 over 2, good. Okay, so then when you do tangent, you have y over x. So I have negative 1 over negative square root of 3. Okay, well, the negatives are going to cancel each other out, right? Okay, but what's wrong with leaving this as your answer? Good, so we have to rationalize it. So we're going to multiply by square root of 3. So this would be square root of 3 over 3. So there's our sine, cosine over tangent. Okay, what about cosecant? It's the reciprocal of sine. Negative 2, good. Okay, then secant. That's the reciprocal of cosine. So it'd be negative 2 over square root of 3. And then what do I have to do? Rationalize it, good. So this would be negative 2 square root of 3 over 3. Okay, remember the shortcut I told you on like reciprocals before? If you're looking at one that's already been rationalized, look at it before it was rationalized. So cotangent would be square root of 3 over 1, which is square root of 3. How you feel about these? Good. Good? Alright, here's the other way you will see it. Where you will be given a trig function, and then you're going to find out what quadrant it is. Okay, so you have to know what x, y, and r. Those are the three things you have to know. Okay, what do you know from sine?
Y and R.
Y and r, because sine is equal to y over r. So I know that y is 3, r is 5.
You say
Hmm?
equation of
Yeah, now we can use the equation. Now, this is the part you have to pay attention to. If it lies in quadrant 2, in quadrant 2, x is negative and y is positive. So when we solve for x using this equation, you're going to have to remember that x has to be negative. Okay, so we'd have 5 equals the square root of x squared plus y squared, so plus 3 squared. 5 equals the square root of x squared plus 9. Square both sides. 25 equals x squared plus 9. So if I subtract 9, I'd have 16 equals x squared. So I can know x could be positive or negative 4, but we know it's negative 4 because it's in quadrant 2. Okay, now if I find the 6 trig functions, you already know sine is 3/5. Okay, what's cosine?
negative 4 over 5.
Negative 4 over 5, good. What about tangent?
3.
Okay, negative 3/4, good. Alright, cosecant? 5/3, good. Secant? Negative 5/4, good. And cotangent? And those are already reduced, you don't have to reduce them. Alright, we're gonna do one more.
Oh wait, don't wipe off all that yet, please. Yeah, it's right
Can I
there.
wipe off number 1?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, I can't really see, so it takes me forever to write them.
Did you have to confuse us before the last one, before we got done?
Say what?
Did you have to confuse us before we finished?
Well, yeah, because you were gonna see this on your thing.
I feel like every time you say, okay, there's one more, it's like the
The
most
hardest
terrible problem.
This isn't hard.
So 1 just equals 0.
Okay, so what's cotangent equal to what letters?
X over Y.
X over Y. Okay, how would you get something that's undefined?
Y.
Divide by 0, so that means Y is equal to 0. Okay, if this is between, that's where you have to do a little bit of thinking. Pi over 2 is up here, 3 pi over 2 is down here. Where is the only place Y could be 0 that's between these two lines?
Right on the-
Right here on the axis. That's the only place that'll work. Okay. That means X is going to be positive or negative? Negative, right? It says it has to be on the pi. That means X has to be negative. It doesn't give us anything else. So you can make X whatever you want it to be as long as it's a negative number. Now, the easiest one would be -1, but I'll go with whatever number you want.
-1.
It's not going to matter because if you go with -2 or -3 or -4, we're going to get the same answers in the end. I just like the least amount of work. Okay, how do you find R? Okay, so square root of x squared plus y squared. So square root of 1 plus 0 would be square root of 1, which is 1. Okay, so sine is y divided by r. So what's 0 divided by 1? 0. 0 on top is 0, 0 on bottom is undefined. Okay, cosine, that's x over r. So -1 over 1 would be -1. Okay, tangent, that's y over x. So 0 divided by -1 is 0. Okay, reciprocal of 0 is going to be undefined. So the reciprocal of sine, which is cosecant, if that's 0, if I flip it, that's going to put 0 on bottom, so that's undefined. What about secant? What's the reciprocal of -1? It's still -1. Okay, and cotangent, which is what we were given in the beginning, but reciprocal of 0 is